The view from up here in Kings Park is just stunning. I love it. Love looking down there on the river and the city and imagining what all the people are up to. There are a lot of adventures to be had down there, and for today's adventure, what we're going to do is literally remove all of those buildings from the landscape. And in that picture, we're going to build something that's pretty special. Got your sensible shoes on? My guide today is Walter McGuire from Go Cultural Aboriginal Tours and Experiences. And yes, we're going to go for a bit of a walk today, primarily in the footsteps of Walter's ancestors. Hello, you must be my guide.
Yarra Christina. Yes, I am. I'm Walter.
Kaya Walter. So Walter, tell us a little bit about this adventure. What are we doing today?
Okay, today we have a beautiful day and it's a 90-minute tour walking around the Elizabeth Quay. In the Nyungar, we call this place Gumup. Very interactive, so feel free at any time you need to ask a question.
Walter, looking around, there's a lot of buildings here. So how hard is it to run a cultural tour when I'm thinking it'd be hard to find a lot of these sites?
The Nyungar people, my people, and I'm a traditional owner, our history goes back a very, very long time. And the city has been built on Nyungar culture, Nyungar land, and through that there are stories, sacred areas. So I suppose we could say it's like a mystery tour.
The tour is conducted in English and Noongar. And first stop is the water playground.
Today we're going to immerse you in our culture. And through these beautiful public arts that are here on display at Elizabeth Quay, that you have a collaboration of Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal artists that have come together for these tiles, and they tell stories about the Nyungar 6 seasons. So during the 1920s to the 1950s, legislation came into being where this became a prohibited area after 6 p.m, where Nyungar Aboriginal people had to have a native pass.
Pretty tough.
Pretty tough living then. My father remembers those times. Also reflected on us as we grow up, young men, to be careful as you walk through the city.
These yellow signs dotted around the quay also have some of the points that Walter covers in the tour. And there's a lot of things I discover I didn't know about Aboriginal history. And this artwork prompts our next discussion. I thought it was a bird, and it seems, in a way, that is what it represents.
So when we get to this public art here, the big silver bird, I ask people to reflect, visualise in their minds what it would be like seeing a big boat coming up the river with 2 white sails on it, and at that time there's nothing in your world view other than a bird sitting on top of a big boat with its wings flapped out. It reflects the big white sails.
There's also a chance to get in touch with some Aboriginal artefacts and try and figure out what they were used for. And then it's off to a very modern piece of architecture. And from here, a little more language and an explanation about the colour of this water. The tour finishes on the other side of the bridge, and it does feel like we've managed to cross over something. Come to a place of understanding, and I think that's what Walter is trying to achieve. I thoroughly enjoyed the tour, couldn't recommend it more highly. There was a lot to see, there was a lot to hear, but I do have a feeling there's still a lot more.